I've been on a trip across Guangdong province to see its famous barbecue at the source. After stops in Zhanjiang for little pigs and Xinhui for roast goose, I've made it to my last stop, the big pigs of Guangzhou. Lucas left us in Xinhui, so it's up to me and my chef friend Michael to explain the magic of these nighttime roasters.
Pigs.
2 a.m. in the morning, suburbs of Guangzhou. We're at the Shenghua Roast Pork Factory. So in western Guangdong, what we saw was just within the space of a couple of hours, it went from live animals to roasted whole pork. But here they've already come in butchered, slaughtered, gutted, the hair's been taken off, and now these guys are doing the next steps in the process. It's the middle of the night. These guys are basically working in silence. The only sound here is the exhaust fan, the sound of their knives on the bone, and then the sound of the meat being massaged with the seasoning. These pigs are laid out like carpets on top of these low tables, and they're getting seasoned with salt and it looks like maybe 5-spice powder and then soy sauce. All that's getting really deeply massaged into the meat, and then they're getting cooked, hung up to dry for several hours. If you look close at this kind of pig carpet thing that's laying on the table here, you see that it's not just one mass of pork. It's been completely deboned, but beyond that, the meat has been scored quite deeply so that it's really dozens or hundreds of cubes of pork that are still attached to the skin to help with the cooking, to make it cook more evenly. So these guys are just finishing off the day's butchering, and they're gonna put these pigs into the chilling room, into the cooling room, and let them dry for a little while. And in a couple of hours, we're gonna call in the roasting shifu at 5 o'clock in the morning, who's gonna start roasting these pigs. I'm gonna go take a nap. It's a couple hours later. The pigs have been brushed with a maltose syrup. They're hanging here ready to go into the oven. The guys have just been loading up the oven with the lychee wood. They say that inside it can burn up to 400 degrees or even hotter, but there's no thermometer inside because all the thermometers that they put inside melt. So they don't actually know what the temperature is.
So in this plant, actually they specialize in a skin called zimapi, which is sesame skin.
There's two approaches to crisping pork skin in Guangdong. Guangpi, or smooth skin, for the smaller pigs, and jimapi, or sesame skin, for the larger ones. Sesame skin's named for the crunchy bubbles that come up after the skin's hit with a spiked paddle. The spikes in the paddle make tiny holes, helping the fat and collagen render from the skin, which then cook into tiny bubbles that resemble sesame seeds.
So we've been here now 5 hours. Pigs are in the oven for the final roast. They were in for 20 minutes and then out, spiked, oiled, papered,
Yes.
back in the oven, out, spiked, papered, framed.
For another hour.
Another hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of it?
No, I think it's crazy. It's not like, you put something in the oven like where it's automatic, you set your temperature and you're done for the day. You come back when pigs comes out and it's roasted. No, those guys are like every few minutes checking on it, rotating.
It's amazing when you look at this factory. The factory is fairly modern looking, lots of stainless steel,
Yeah.
explosion-proof lights, fire extinguishers and all of this stuff around. But it's all just based on fire. They're just throwing logs of lychee wood in the back of a gigantic brick room, and then the guy has like a 6-foot-long pole, just kind of poking the pigs to twist them around a little bit. I think he's really flying an aircraft. He's like a fighter jet pilot, like really threading the needle on these. Really skilled.
No,
really skilled.
it's mesmerizing to watch them guys working.
And we've seen here also the change of the two shifus. Liang Shifu was the first one to put them in the oven, and now it's Jiang Shifu who is kind of guiding them through the last roasts.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what their finished product looks like. And then we're gonna eat some. So this style is really all in cooking. It's really highly technical. So this is it. We've come hundreds of miles from our home. We've been on the road for 5-6 days at this point, at this roastery for 6.5 hours, and it comes down to this. You first.
Yeah. And Jiro drinks of sushi. Chris and Michael both Cantonese roasted pork. This is. Oh my.
Wow. Insane. The puff on the skin.
Magicians.
Yeah. Really soft fat layer. Smoke on the meat that's on the inside.
You can take the smoke. Let's say it is like sweeter kind of smoke.
Amazing. It's amazing to think that you can just go to a market in Guangzhou and buy this. How much skill, how much experience, how much knowledge is behind this, how much work is behind this. And this is just a market food. It's just an incredible place to eat and an incredible place to see what happens when you give people very rudimentary tools. You give them an animal, an oven, and some fire, and see what they come up with. And the creativity and the technical skills that have been on display in this past week in Guangdong are mind-blowing.
I dreamed of going across Guangdong on a trip like this for years, to have my eyes open, to hang out with friends and eat incredible roast meats, and meet the masters keeping their traditions going. And now it's done. Box checked. Big pigs, big pigs, big pigs, big pigs, big pigs.